everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to bring you a video on this credit hack on how you can increase your credit score by 100 points, maybe even more within 7 days by implementing this strategy. Now, if you are new to my channel, I bring you information to help you no matter where you are on your credit journey. So if you like that kind of information, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Always remember, I am credit education and not credit repair. Now, with this video, I am going to teach you a hack in order to increase your credit score quickly if you need to. Now, the great part about this hack, you don't have to remove negative items for this to work for you. Now, with credit, you need to know some ground rules. Number one, credit is just an algorithm based off of your own behavior. This is why I bring you credit education, because credit repair companies can't ultimately fix your credit if you don't know how to fix your behavior. Paying your bills on time is all up to you. So what I'm about to teach you is a very important part of credit. With credit, you have two major factors that's dictating your credit score. Number one, the largest factor is credit history, which is your payment history itself. How you paid your bills in the past is 35%. Then the second largest part of your credit is utilization. That's 30%. That means debt to your available credit. These two categories make up 65% of your credit score. So if you know how to influence these two parts of your credit score, you can change your credit score really fast. Now, utilization, which is 30%, is something you can change every month. You can even change it within weeks. If you know how to do it, you can bring your utilization down and affect your credit score. Now, when it comes to utilization, it is focused on your credit cards. How much debt on your credit cards versus available credit. So how much debt versus available credit. You need available credit, that credit line to be open and paid down. So when you are working with your utilization, you need to go to your credit report and you need to look at something very closely, and you need to document it or put a journal or put a timer in your phone, and you need to pay attention of this detail. I'm about to show you it right now. Now, what I want you to pay attention to on your credit report, if you have credit monitoring, is your updated date on. This is the date that your credit card companies are reporting your credit card balance to the credit bureaus. Your credit card companies only report every 30 days. If you master this, you can increase your credit score constantly by 100 and so points if you control the date that you're paying your bills. So what you want to do to always make sure that you're beating this reported date or updated on date is paying your credit card by the statement date. So when you get your bill, pay that bill on that date, the statement date that is due, or before. The updated date is generally a couple of days after the statement date. By doing this and paying your card down and letting it report, you can increase your credit score or maintain good credit constantly and hide your utilization. Once that card report as being paid down, you can use that card again. immediately, but you want to make sure it reports and then use the card, because the credit card company will not report that balance to the next 30 days. So if you learn this tactic and technique, you can maintain good credit or even increase your score in a matter of days. You can change your credit score by 150 points. So you always want to pay your card before the report date. To be safe, pay your card on the due date or right before the due date. You will always make the updated date or the report date, and don't use that card until after that card reports. Now, knowing those two dates, your report date on your card and the actual due date, you can control your credit score just by knowing those dates and knowing how to pay off your credit cards in the right timing. Utilization is 30% of your score, and it fluctuates every month. So you can change it. Where with payment history, you may not can change your payment history month after month, but you can always change your utilization by paying a card down and controlling that utilization. So here's the key. Say if you have a credit card that reports on the 2nd, so you want to make sure any balances on that card, either you pay them off or down, optimally at or below 10%. If you don't have the funds to do that, you want to at least get it down below 29%. And you can see your credit score shoot up, especially if you're over 30%. If you just pay it down, even to 28%, if you can get it there, you'll see your score jump. And if you can pay that card down to from 10 to 1%, you're going to see an increase in your credit score. Now, say the next card is due by the 6th in that same week, and you make sure you pay that card down before it reports. Then say that card is due on the 6th, but it reports by the 8th. If you pay that card below that 29%, or if you want to pay it all the way off, you'll see your score jump again, because you're constantly making more available credit and less debt. That in itself is 30% of your credit score. So you want to make sure that you line up all your due dates and try to bring those balances down before that card reports. You can always control your credit score by doing that. If you have a high balance, you can use that card the way you want. As long as you pay it down, you will always hide your utilization. So even if you wait after that report date, I'm not saying it was the best habit, but there was times I would put my whole paycheck, if I had to go for some lending or some kind of situation where I had to show my credit score, on that credit card to bring it down. And once it report, I can use that card if I need to, but my credit score will show itself higher and that card paid off, because your credit card company can only report within a 30-day cycle. So with that, once you now, let's say you're going for a car loan and you know you want to get this car by, sometimes this month, but if you know you got a credit card that is due on the 15th, going to report by the 16th, and you have a balance, you don't want to go for that car loan until you pay that card down. So when it reports on the 16th, that card will be paid down or off, And then when you pull your credit score or go for that loan, say around the 20th, your score will be higher because you paid down your utilization. It can make a big difference in your interest rates. And when you're going for something like a car, they're only going to pull it that one time. So even if you let that normal utilization report, after that, if you have to use that credit card because you used a large chunk of your paycheck to pay it down, it won't matter the next month. You can start paying it down because now you got the loan. Now you got the apartment if you need it. Now you got the job if you needed it. So you want to make sure that you're constantly paying down your credit cards by those dates. Another thing you need to know, you need to make sure that you put all your utilization on one card if you have to have it to report. Sometimes you might not have all the money to pay off all your credit cards. But if it's all possible, because I have seen with some clients I work with that their credit card overall utilization was low, like 10%. But what happened was they had a number of credit cards, even with that 10% having balances. So say if it's a total of $500, but they have that $500 spread across 3 credit cards, then the algorithm deduct points for that because it looks like you're carrying too many balances on too many accounts. You're better off by carrying that $500 balance on one card, and you will want to carry that balance on your highest credit limit card, not those little small baby cards like somebody that might have a $700 credit card limit and you're carrying a $500 credit card balance, but you have a bigger card where you can switch that or you can transfer that balance somewhere else. You're better off by doing that because the way the algorithm works, any card that you go over 70% of utilization, even if the other cards are clear, they still ding you for points. So you don't ever want your cards to go over that 70%. It's too close to being maxed out. God forbid if you got one at 90% of being maxed out, or if one card is over 100%, your score is in the gutter, even if you have some other cards that are freed up or have no balances. That is going to tank your score. You have to bring that balance down. Now, for the other cards that have open utilization and it could have 0 balances, for that algorithm to work in your favor, you have to bring that particular card that's over that 70% mark at least down to 59% if all the rest of your credit cards are at 0, because it will still penalize you. So always remember, this is just a computer generated system, so you can make some tweaks in your reporting if you know what to do. You just have to change your behavior, and then you can increase your credit score at any time. Then you time on when you're going to apply for that apartment. You make sure it's after you paid off those balances, and then check your credit score and you'll see your score is higher. Now, the only caveat with this, if you have a negative item that just hits your credit score, like a new collection, or if you have an account that's behind in payments, it's an open account now, not saying collection or a charge off, not those kind. But if you have an account that's past due, a car that you haven't made your payments on, you need to bring that current for that to work for you. So even if you got a negative item recently, if you pay your cards down, you might not see as big of a jump even if you pay that down because of the new negative item. Most of the times it'll work within 90 days. You'll see your score go up if you have something new. But you still pay your cards down. You still will see points increased, even sometimes with that new negative item coming on your credit report. So keep that in mind. So hopefully this hack will help you. You need to constantly maintain your credit by using this hack. You always got to pay down your credit cards before it reports, because you can hide your utilization by doing that. Even if you are trying to go for a loan by the end of the month, you want to make these dates and these payments and have this information so you can control your credit score. You can get your credit score to go up at will if you follow these takeaways. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, just leave it in the comment section. If you got questions for me personally, go to my website. At my website, we have a DIY credit package where you can remove your negative items. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.